All right, well, welcome. Thanks very much for coming along. We're at Brighton Football Ground where it all started for a young Jeromey Webberley many years ago, and fast forward to 2025 and we're really excited to announce Jeromey Webberley as the Tasmania Football Club's inaugural VFL coach. Jeremy's track record speaks for itself, right back from his days at Clarence as a premiership player and then being drafted to Richmond, and in more recent times as a coach within the Coach League program. He's got a fantastic track record of getting players drafted and making meaningful contributions, and his reputation, his relationships right around Tasmania and interstate are outstanding, so we couldn't be happy to have Jeromey on board.
What part of his reputation and the way he acts as a coach was attractive to get him on board? Yeah,
well, it's funny sometimes you drill it down to as simple as it starts with him being a good bloke, and he's a really nice, genuine fellow, and his interactions with people are authentic, and certainly in the research that we did, the relationships that he's got with players, coaches, clubs statewide, he's held in very high regard, and that's really important, particularly in a place like Tasmania where we're looking to run regional hubs and that sort of thing. So those relationships are a really strong foundation for him in the role.
I suppose that would be helpful if you've only got quite a short window to be ready. I think it's about 6 or 7 months. That gives you a bit of confidence that they will be able to field a proper team in that time? Yeah, 6 or 7 months probably until we play, about 6 to 8 weeks until we kick off pre-season. So we've got a lot to do, and certainly it's advantageous. I mean, it wasn't the reason that Jeremy got the job, but it's extremely advantageous that he's got those existing relationships and he knows the players, so it helps us really hit the ground running. So that is important for us. Are there any other people that were being considered at all?
Yeah, absolutely. We had some really clear criteria that we wanted to follow, and ideally we wanted a Tasmanian coach, not to the degree that we would sacrifice the process. We needed to make sure we got the right person in place to set the program up. But ideally we wanted a Tasmanian, and we wanted someone with at least Coach League experience, if not VFL experience. So we spoke to a number of people, and right down to the pointy part of the process was speaking to about half a dozen people, but really happy with the fact that we've got Jeromey on board. Through that process it became very clear that he was the right person for that role, and he was really prepared to embrace the way that we wanted to roll out the program, which was important.
I know seasons are still going for some teams and stuff, but how soon do you hope to unveil some players and stuff?
Yeah, look, Todd and his team are talking to players at the moment. We're talking to players both interstate and in Tasmania, and those conversations will continue. We're starting to get to the point where we're close to getting some commitments, and I would hope that we can start to announce some players, ideally over the next few weeks, without putting too much pressure on Todd and the team.
So you said 6 to 8 weeks until pre-season starts, but I believe you're doing regional trials. Can you talk me through what those look like?
Yeah, there'll be a number of players that are contracted directly prior to that point in time, but we are running a set of regional trials the end of September, start of October, where we'll invite people a little bit outside of the system. So we won't invite our state senior academy players and so forth. That'll be an open invitation for people in each region to come along, do some fitness testing, give us a chance to have a look at some core skills. We want to make sure that the process is really thorough to make sure that we don't miss the opportunity to uncover a diamond in the rough. So we'll be rolling that out statewide.
I know you get target sort of players that have left Tassie to come back home, but what about players coming out of the AFL system like Jimmy Webster and John Menzies and guys like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, without naming names, certainly we're looking at people that are coming off AFL lists. We need to bring a level of experience into the program. There'll be a lot of young players in the program as well, and we need to make sure that we've got that experience at the top level. So we're looking at returning Tasmanians that are playing in second tier comps, delisted AFL players, local Tasmanian players. There'll be a really good mix across the board, but experience is important.
VFLW, when can we expect an announcement on that, coach?
Yeah, we're fairly well progressed. It's a little bit different time frame that we're working with. The VFL and AFL programs, we're at the conclusion of their season. The AFL season is only a couple of weeks old, so engaging a few people that are involved in that process, we need to be respectful of their existing commitments. So we probably think we're 2 to 3 weeks away from being able to announce a coach, all going well.
Is the plan for this coach to continue through when the side enters the AFL?
Yeah, look, the team will be in place through that period, and Jeremy will certainly be with the team beyond 2026. We're still negotiating that with him at the moment, but depending on how things go, all sorts of roles will open up come 2028. So Jeremy's part of the future of this club.
So there's not a contracted time?
He'll be under contract, absolutely, but we haven't made an investment in Jeremy for the short term. We see him as an integral piece of this club moving forward.
Cool, all happy?
Thanks, Pidge.
start with a bit of a statement about what it means to you to be appointed coach.
Oh, look, I'm ecstatic. I'm incredibly thankful for the opportunity the club has given me. Clearly, I'm a passionate Tasmanian, so to play, I suppose the significance of the role is something that I understand completely. So I think that's why I'm nervous and incredibly excited. So, yeah, I suppose I'm grateful for the opportunity and thankful the club selected me.
Just start from the start. Tell us about the significance of the ground behind you.
Yeah, well, like all young boys and girls, I grew up playing junior footy, which happened to be at Brighton Footy Club where we are today. Some of my earliest memories of watching senior men were actually over. I was just looking at the new interchange boxes. So the old metal ones over there was some of my, sitting around the fence with some of my first footy moments. So, grew up as a Brighton junior, played all the way through here till I was 17. Went down to Clarence for a few seasons and was lucky enough to be drafted and come back and coach Clarence and progressed into the under-18s Devils role, and then obviously we're here today. So yeah, this is, I suppose this is a significant location and somewhere where, I fell in love with the game.
Is this a sort of position that you always sort of aspired for? Or if, you told that little boy out there playing behind you that he was going to be coach of the VFL team, would you have believed it?
No. Probably wouldn't have believed it. Like I've sort of, to be honest, I've sort of stumbled my way through coaching really. Got thrust into a senior coaching role halfway through the 2016 season, the TSL for Clarence, and I've just continued to progress from there. Like that's sort of where I started to fall in love with coaching. In terms of aspirations and direction back then, I didn't have any, to be honest. It sort of just evolved from year to year, and as I said, it's something I've fallen in love with, especially that development phase with players. So I couldn't have said to the young boy sitting over there on the fence that you're going to coach, the Tasmanian VFL team. No chance. But I feel like my footy journey's been a little bit like that. Like even in my draft year, like Matthew Armstrong, I think I lasted 3 sessions and he cut me. So I didn't sort of go down the traditional draft pathway either. So I feel like footy's opened some amazing doors for me, but it's never been something that I've really planned and had dedication to step towards. It's just sort of evolved naturally.
Aaron touched on it, and you touched on it there about the relationships. Is that what you love most about coaching, or what is it that attracts you to a role like that?
I just think players succeeding is and helping them on their journey, and I suppose providing some support where applicable is probably the thing that I get out of the most. I suppose with my character traits, that's something that I'm being perceived as being pretty good at. So I think that is probably what I enjoy the most.
How much does experience having coaching our state teams help in a role like this when you do see that development of especially younger players through that state role?
Yeah, I think it helps a lot. Like, clearly we're a regional-based program for the first 12 months of this program. So I've been doing that for the last 4 to 5 years. I understand how, the things that I've got to get in place to make that work and bring teams together. I think that's really important. You touched on the development. I think that although we're a senior men's program, I think that, the development space is really important for us to continue on and have a viewpoint to that. Like clearly we're building this VFL program to underpin the AFL and AFLW program. So I feel like, we want to be, yes, we want to be competitive, we want to win games clearly, but we also want to have that development mindset and make sure that players, whether they're, 18, 17 or 35, they're continuing to sort of progress with their footy and, having that, I suppose, growth mindset I think is really important for us.
Obviously, some really credentialed coaches in the VFL space on the mainland, the Tasmanians, Zane, Little John and Taylor Whitford and stuff. I'm not sure if they applied or whatever, but why you, do you think? Why the Devils invested in you?
Oh, well, I think that's probably a pointy question for some other people, but I think for me it's like clearly the relationship piece, without pumping my tyres up too much, because, I don't like that. But, I've had success with the regional-based model, and I think, we need to get moving quickly, and it's a regional-based model. So some of the things that I've been successful at previously really sets up well for the first 12 months within this program. And clearly they're investing in Tasmanians, so I think that's the other sort of point that Aaron touched upon, is that I am Tasmanian. I've got a proven track record around the regional-based model, and I've got existing relationships with many stakeholders. So I think they're probably the 3 key reasons to why.
Got a really short runway till pre-season starts. What's your priorities from here?
I've got a lot of priorities. The first one I think is we've got, obviously facility challenges. We've got to get that sorted. We've got list build And then we've got to bring in people, right, in terms of support staff. So they're probably the three key pillars that I'll be focusing on. I think once we progress through that and get started, I'll be, making sure we've got the right people within our program, both from a support staff standpoint, but also from a playing standpoint. Like, yes, we want good talent, but we want good people. I think the first 12 months of this program is really about laying a strong foundation. There's going to be some character building moments, no doubt, and there's going to be some challenges, but we want to make sure that we've got the right people in place, and we're setting the right culture and standards and values that we want to live by moving forward.
You'd have relationships with blokes that have gone off to play in the sample and VFL, etc. Who's your first phone call to?
I've had many a phone call already, Brent. So yeah, look, there's going to be a range. Like, we've got to attract a lot of talent back to our state where we can, and we've got to, attract interstate talent that wants to come to Tasmania to take us up on this opportunity, this venture. So there's going to be a number of phone calls. If there had to be one, I probably couldn't put a name on it. But there's also, I don't think we should discount the people within our state as well. Like, we've got a lot of talented players within our state, both mature talent, but also, talent coming through the CDL Devils program as well, that I think we need to have conversations with as well, because they're going to be the large nucleus of this team.
How big a carrot's the golden ticket set up, do you think?
Well, it's huge, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's massive. I think it's a fantastic initiative from the club and Todd and his team as well about providing this opportunity. I think it's going to attract talent, but also I think it gives the opportunity for some local talent around our state to not have to move to chase that draft dream. So I think it's an awesome project moving forward.
What are you anticipating to be the toughest challenge as a coach? Is it, the short time frame or attracting players?
I think it's just bringing it all together. Like, it's a huge program, and we've got 8 weeks. I think you said before around bringing it all together and making it work. So I think it's something that I've had to do previously, but getting everyone aligned in the direction that we want to go and then building it from scratch, I think, is the most challenging thing. But also on the flip side of that, it's extremely exciting because we get to create our own. It's our own program, it's our own club that we want to build that's aligned with, the hierarchy above me. So, although that's probably the most daunting and most challenging prospect of it, I think the reality is it's the most exciting opportunity as well.
How involved are you in the regional trials at the moment?
Yes, I'll be present in those regional trials. So yeah, I think another great initiative from the club. Going to give some people, boys and girls, some fantastic opportunity to come and be exposed at the next level above and put their best foot forward.
Do you think you will need some players with some sort of top end AFL experience at the beginning to sort of guide young players through, or how do you sort of see that?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like that's a really important part of our list build. Is like we want to attract AFL or AFLW talent to our state. It could be to do with the golden ticket, but also I think I touched on it before about the first 12 months about building a foundation with correct values and behaviours and sort of preparing us for season 2027 and beyond. So I think that's really important to have that AFL and AFLW experience. One from playing clearly, we want them to be highly talented and have major impact on the playing field, but also what they bring off field as well, I think is really important.
Do you have a ratio in mind in terms of, players from the mainland or, like local talent, things like that, or is it just...
I think it's just conversation, and you can talk to 150 players, and you might get 20. So it's really about trying to get as much talent here as we can, but also understanding with that we need to make sure that we invest in the people that we have within our state. Who we get from abroad, yes, they need to be good players, but they also need to be good people. So, what ratio does that look like? I don't think we really worry about that too much. As long as they're, the right talent and the right people, I think that's what we invest in.
What's the end game for you here?
I suppose to continue the journey. Like I said before, that I'm not someone that plans too far ahead in terms of my own journey, but I thought this was, the severity and of this role in terms of the opportunity was huge. It potentially opens up some opportunity for me moving forward, and it's something that I've wanted to continue to progress with. So yeah, clearly I've got aspiration to move forward with my coaching or move into another department within the AFL club. So I feel like this opportunity gets my foot in the door, and now it's up to me to take that opportunity and run with it. And where it leads me is where it leaves me, Brent. Like I said before, that I want to be involved in football, especially Tasmanian football, for long periods of time, and I suppose provide the best service I can. Now, wherever that leads me. So, I have got aspiration, and here's the first opportunity I've got.
What's the main message to players? Obviously, the fact that we are entering the VFL and the VFLW brings a lot of clarity as to their future. But I know a lot of the regional leagues are wrapping up. What do they need to do to be ready? Is it attend these regional trials?
Oh, well, clearly there'll be conversations with our existing senior state academy members, both boys and girls, and then there's obviously we spoke about attracting mainland talent, be that local talent or talent from abroad that we're looking to bring down. And then I think it's about putting your best foot forward as a part of these trials and exposing yourself to that next level. Like I'm big on making this program aspirational. Like I want, our people have never had aspirational opportunity. They've had to leave the state. We've got it here right now, so let's make this program as aspirational as what we can. Now, the first port of call is to look after our local talent. We've got this great initiative with these training opportunities for I think people to come along and put their best foot forward, because who knows what doors can open up.
Looking back on your time with the Talent Pathways, how has that helped you as a coach? But I guess more broadly, how have you enjoyed being a part of those programs? Yeah, look, I think the talent pathway, especially within Tasmania, is unique because you've got the three regions, you've got the three hubs. Like my coaching journey was very much with a club mentality and a club hat on. So I think the biggest thing that I've learned from coaching in the Coach League and in Tasmania is how to connect people and groups together. I think if I had the knowledge that I had now with Clarence, I would have been a hell of a lot better coach clearly. I know that's experience and pretty obvious, but I feel like I've got the best thing I learned was how to connect people together and how to get them, I suppose, everyone pushing in a common collective is probably the thing that I've learned from the Coach League.
I'm all happy. Thank you so much.
Cheers.